Hello, my name is Eden and this is the third part of my 5-part series on tips to help newly diagnosed adults with ADHD just get through life a little bit easier. This video is dedicated to the world around you and your daily grind. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it. The world around you is an incredibly overwhelming place, and if you have lots of things that you have to do on the daily, like appointments that you have to keep, projects and deadlines and things like that you have to adhere to, then it can be very overwhelming to feel like you have so many things that need to be done and done then and there. So these tips are just going to help you view your world with a little bit more of a filter and just make things that little bit easier. The first tip is use a calendar. If you have a smartphone, put your calendar on your home screen. So the first thing you do when you unlock your phone is see your calendar. Use that calendar to put in all your appointments, all the tasks that you want to do that particular day, all of those things that are important that need to be timed, need to be monitored, put in your calendar, and put reminders on these things as well. I have reminders for people's birthdays, I have reminders for the school term, I have reminders for appointments, I have reminders for all the things that I need to do. If I have deadlines that I need to adhere to, I'll put the deadline in and I will remind myself leading up to that deadline of what I need to do. It helps because you don't have to worry now because you've got all those things in front of you. You don't need to worry about remembering somebody's birthday because it's in your calendar and you're going to get reminded the day before or possibly even the week before if you need to get presents and stuff like that for them. So use your calendar, put it in an area that you always look at. This is why I recommend the home screen on your smartphone because you're always unlocking your smartphone. And that's the first thing that you see. It's just going to make your life so much easier. The next thing is to learn about your sensory thresholds. ADHD often comes with sensory issues. We are much more predispositioned to be sensitive to things like sound, light, taste, smell, these sorts of things. So learn about where your threshold for sensory overload lies. There is a particular sensory questionnaire that you can go through that teaches you where your thresholds are. I went through this one myself when I was newly diagnosed and I was very surprised at just how sensitive I am to light and sound in particular. Those two things, very sensitive to those. So learning about where the mail is here. The mail is here. Okay, I'm back. The mail. All right. So, learning about your sensory thresholds and how much you can tolerate on the day-to-day is just going to make your life easier because then you can implement ways to buffer yourself against those thresholds. So if you're very sensitive to light, you can know to start wearing sunglasses when you go outside. If you're very sensitive to sound, then you can wear earbuds and play your own music to help block the world out around you. If you're very sensitive to taste, then you know to only add a little bit of salt instead of all the salt, or tell people to go easy on the salt, So it's very important to know where your thresholds for your senses lie. Third tip, I said this before, but I will say it again, set reminders on your phone. Use your calendar, use your daily planner, use all that stuff and set reminders on your phone to remind you to do the things that you want to do. So I will have reminders that ping every Wednesday to let me know that I need to clean the bathroom. As I said before, if I have a deadline coming up, I will usually have a reminder set that will remind me 2 to 3 days before that particular deadline is due. If I have appointments, I will usually set a reminder for the day before and then sometimes an hour before and even sometimes the half an hour before, because if it's an appointment that I really don't want, I tend to forget and just push it to the back of my mind. So having those constant reminders is really handy. Use reminders, use your calendar. I can't stress this enough. Use your calendar. It will just save your life. It really will. Especially if you're as disorganized as I am. And the last tip has to do with work, although we do tend to be pretty focused when it comes to work, but this just makes things a little bit easier. But if you go to work and you have a lot that you have to do on the daily, try to switch between tasks every 90 minutes or so. Switching between tasks gives your brain just a little bit of a reset and a break from the thing that you're working on. So switching is just very handy to do. And also remember to take breaks between tasks. 5 to 10 minutes is all you need really, but it just allows you to reset your brain, get up from your computer, walk around, you know, do the things that you need to do just for a few minutes, and then sit down and switch to a different task. It makes things a lot easier because you're not constantly trying to focus on the one thing, and then the more you focus on the one thing, especially if it's boring, your brain just kind of tends to wander, and then you start making mistakes, and that's where things get difficult. So switch your tasks up, try and vary your day as much as you can. So that's all the tips I have for you today. If you have any extra tips that you like to engage in your world and just your daily grind, leave them in the comments below. I'd be very interested to hear them. If you like my work, please consider subscribing. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job, and it also gives me encouragement to continue making more videos. So please subscribe, I would really appreciate it. So until next time, my name is Eden. I have lots of ideas. I'll see you in the next video to talk about more of them. Ta-ta!